Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into Sunderfolk, the debut game from the brand new studio Secret Door, and let me tell you, they came out swinging. This one instantly stands out as a cooperative tabletop RPG that you control with your phone while watching the action play out on your TV. Yes, that's a first for us too, and exactly why we were so curious to see if it actually worked. Can a touchscreen really capture all the strategy, depth, and customization that you'd expect from a classic tabletop RPG? It's a tall order, but we're happy to report that Sunderfolk pulls it off in a big way. So let's break it down and talk about why we think Sunderfolk very much could be for you and your best friends.
1, 2, 3, 4 here. He'll be within 3 and I can teleport him there.
Do it, baby.
Let's
go. This is gonna be so sick.
Yeah, honestly.
True.
Yeah, I do remember that, yeah. Oh, this is awesome, dude. This is so worth it.
Christian
Let's
and Gabe
go.
go hard together.
Whoa!
Wow, this is tactics.
Come on, baby.
+0.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Wow.
That was awesome.
That was so sick.
Man, we should have picked the hardest difficulty. You're right, Jake.
Sunderfolk is one of the most unique RPGs we've played thanks in large part to its focus on accessibility. The game supports 4-player co-op both online and local, but like Andrew mentioned, there's a twist. You won't be using traditional controllers. Instead, one player purchases the game, which generates a QR code on the start screen. Everyone else simply scans that QR code using the Sunderfolk controller app on their phone, which is available for free on iOS and Android, and you're good to go. We did test the app on an iPad. It works, but it's clearly optimized for phones, just so you know. Setting up couch co-op is a breeze, especially with the game available on all major consoles. Online play requires a bit more setup. You'll need to stream the game to your friends, and the best method we found is playing on Steam and sharing via Discord. Steam Remote Play is also an option, and PlayStation users can share screens through party voice chat as well. Do note your mileage will vary depending on internet speed and other factors. Progress is tied to the host, but if someone can't make a session, others can easily take over their character using the hero control menu. With the setup out of the way, I'll hand the mic back over to my dude to take us through the gameplay loop.
Oh, I can't see. Range 3.
I think the one on the right. Yeah, you gotta go top right.
Right?
Because then you're 3 from 18.
Yeah, you can't kill 22, but you can take out 18.
Okay, cool. Get in the pit.
Nice.
Put him in the pit.
The premise of Sunderfolk leans into classic fantasy. The village of Arden was built around a mysterious magical substance called Brightstone, but now strange forces from surrounding lands are threatening its very existence. That's where you and your crew come in. You're the local heroes tasked with protecting the village, and you'll choose from 6 unique classes: Arcanist, Bard, Berserker, Pyromancer, Ranger, and Rogue. Each one comes with its own distinct playstyle, and once you lock in a class, it stays with your party for the rest of the campaign, so choose wisely at first. The full campaign unfolds over 3 acts and clocks in around 20 to 30 hours. There's no grinding or bloated side content here. In fact, you're limited in how many missions you can take on per act, meaning you won't see everything in a single playthrough. Each chapter in an act you'll choose from a set of side missions which play out through turn-based combat. And here's where things get interesting thanks to your phone being the controller. The free companion app is where you're going to move your character, launch attacks, and view everything the battlefield has to offer. Most missions include a unique objective, and that's really your only goal, except for the fact that there's usually a chest and some money that you can grab if you're strategic about it. Between battles, every 2 missions or so, you get the chance to level up, usually unlocking new cards which represent attacks, an automatic boost to your stats, or unlocking new options to move around back in town. And don't sleep on the village hub, it's more than just a story beat. You can shop for trinkets, craft weapons, upgrade stores, chat with NPCs, and even build relationships that grant you special rewards. Again, all of this is happening right on your phone, which still kind of blows our mind. So that's the core loop: battle and turn-based combat, level up with new cards and stats, return to town to manage your character in the broader village, then head back out for the next mission. But how does this all hold up in co-op? I'll hand it off to Gabe to break that down.
No, speedrun test.
I'm trying to get out of here, bro, not die.
No, that was good, because that guy could probably do big damage on me, actually. So.
Well, you've been healed.
My god.
This mimic will heal monsters too.
What the hell?
Are you kidding me?
At their core, most RPGs are trying to recreate the spirit of tabletop gaming. Sunderfolk is yet another game attempting the same feat, and for our money, it largely succeeds. I should mention, our group is no stranger to tabletop gaming. We've all spent countless hours playing board games like Size, and even completed a 2-year D&D campaign led by Jake, our rogue in Sunderfolk, as the Dungeon Master. So when we say this game nails the tabletop vibe, we mean it. Translating that kind of magic into a video game isn't easy though. We've been spoiled by titles like Baldur's Gate 3, and I'll admit I was skeptical Sunderfolk could hold its own, especially in the combat department. But to my surprise, it's full of clever mechanics that create an engaging, approachable system, one that thrives on co-op play. The game uses an open turn order, meaning any player can jump in and act at any time. This naturally encourages teamwork and leads to a lot of fun planning moments, especially when using coordination mode. This feature lets you point your cursor around the battlefield, either to inspect enemies or direct teammates to specific hexes. It's a smart system that tries to replicate that frantic energy when you're drawing on a dry erase map mid-boss fight during your D&D session. If you know, you know. That flexibility allows for some genuinely satisfying combos if you're willing to get creative with all the abilities and tools in your arsenal. Each character fights using a deck of ability cards, with each card offering a sequence of actions. For example, Andrew's Berserker can use Long Haul to move 3 spaces, pull an enemy, and then deliver a powerful strike. But before that final hit lands, you'll pull a card from your Fate deck, a pile of modifiers that might boost your damage, grant buffs, or let you perform another action. Beyond the cards, you also have a trinket and a weapon equipped. Trinkets are one use per battle items that can do things like healing or swapping places with an ally, while weapons, which unlock a couple hours in, let you act out of turn if they're energized. This is a status triggered by meeting specific conditions like picking up gold or swapping places with another player. So as you can imagine, the potential for synergy here is huge. One of our favorite combos involves setting up Christian's Pyromancer for his Flame Breath attack, which deals a whopping 10 damage in a straight line. In this instance, I teleport an enemy into place with my Stargate ability, then Andrew pushes Christian closer to his mark so that he can finally get in place and easily clear out a whole row of enemies with a fiery blaze. As the Arcanist class, I actually found myself teleporting allies and enemies around a lot, leaning into a sort of battlefield strategist role. Similarly, every class does play a role, giving each player a chance to shine. Andrew's Berserker was our tank with plenty of aggro abilities, drawing enemies to himself. Jake's Rogue was our evasive master and dealt some serious single target damage. Conversely, Christian's Pyromancer class revolved around absorbing fire to amplify his multi-target abilities. Leaning into your strengths and using different items to create a decent build is very satisfying, but if you're new to CRPGs, you really don't have to engage with these systems to succeed, and more importantly, have fun with Sunderfolk. There are 4 difficulty settings to support different playstyles, and you can toggle various modifiers to tailor the experience to your liking. We mostly played on challenging, though we dipped into the balanced difficulty on occasion. Either way, the game felt mostly fair and rewarding thanks in large part to the mission variety. Some missions are straightforward defeat all enemy affairs, but others introduce more puzzle-like challenges. One standout mission involved rescuing this beetle. Don't ask why his name is Nacho Libre, we'll get to that in a bit. The goal was to guide the beetle across the arena, but he could only move in a straight line and needed to be rotated into position with our actions. Add enemies and a round limit to the mix, and you've got a surprisingly tough mission that demanded tight coordination and made us consider every move we made. It may have taken us 2 tries, but pulling it off felt great. That's what Sunderfolk does so well. It delivers the kind of dynamic encounters you'd expect from a great dungeon master. And like any good tabletop campaign, it's not all combat and tense strategy, it's also about having fun and yes, being a bit silly too. That's where touches like the naming mechanic come in. At random points, the game lets a player name an NPC, a town building, or even an enemy type, and these stay that way for the remainder of the game. game. They're even referenced by other characters, resulting in some hilarious dialogue scenes. So ultimately, that's how we ended up with an NPC named Nacho Libre, mold monsters called Ooey Gooeys, and the main store labeled as Walmart. It's a small feature that adds a bit of a personal touch to your campaign and makes you feel like you're crafting some of the experience together. There are other smaller mechanics too, like sending money and items to each other via the post office, attaching a funny message in the process. Each of these details might seem minor, but together with engaging combat, varied mission design, and co-op first mechanics, helps Sunderfolk nail what so many games attempt and few achieve: recreating the feeling of a real tabletop campaign in a co-op game format. I've largely focused on the gameplay here, but there's more to touch on with Sunderfolk, so let's wrap things up with some final thoughts.
You want me to do my alt and then we can see what the fallout is?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Oh yeah, there we go. We probably need to
Attack.
heal the sentinel in your turn,
Attack
Christian.
9.
Yeah.
Gain strength 3 for the second attack. I can kill both 16ers.
That's huge.
Oh my god, this is insane.
Yeah, for this one we decided to skip a dedicated bad stuff section because we didn't think it was necessary. Is the game perfect? No, of course not. But when it comes to teamwork and cooperation, which is what we're focused on here, Sunderfolk gets it. Every time we sat down to play, we walked away impressed with how the game pushed us to combine our powers and classes in clever ways based on those mission objectives. A big part of why that works is the UI, because they really nailed it. The touchscreen doesn't feel like a bottleneck. Sure, charting your movement path on the grid might take a second try every now and then, but we were all surprised by how much functionality they packed into the phone. You can tap on pretty much anything, status effects, abilities, enemies, and get detailed info instantly. This kind of accessibility goes a long way in making Sunderfolk approachable for more casual players, which brings us to the big question: who is this game actually for? Could you play this with someone who's never touched a tabletop RPG before? Someone who gets overwhelmed by complicated setups and rulebooks? Honestly, yes and no. Sunderfolk doesn't shy away from strategy. There's a ton of depth here. Class synergies, enemy types, unique objectives, status effects, it's all in the mix. But because of the phone, it's presented in a way that's super digestible. If your friend has shown even a passing interest in the genre, Sunderfolk could be an absolute perfect on-ramp. And the adjustable difficulty makes it even more flexible. You can tweak it outside of battle anytime, which helps cut down the learning curve and gets everyone into the action faster. But if your friend is adamantly against the idea of a slow-paced, methodical campaign, Sunderfolk won't magically fix that. Before we wrap up, there's a couple more things I want to shout out, like the presentation. We love the art style. The woodland animal characters and their designs were a fun little treat between all the strategy and combat. The writing, it's fine, some fun lines and the occasional cool cutscene. But yeah, the story's definitely not the star of the show. It leans, like I said, pretty boilerplate. But if your friends are anything like mine, they're just going to be skipping dialogue the moment it pops up, so no harm there. And even if they don't, the dialogue is always given in very short bursts. So that's it. We really did enjoy Sunderfolk. It hits the mark for a lot of different types of players and totally delivers on its mission, bringing back that cozy couch co-op tabletop energy in 2025. And hey, we played it online and still felt that vibe, though, as Gabe said earlier, your mileage will vary depending on your setup when it comes to online play. At the end of the day, they really did want you guys to all play this in a room together. So if you've got that right group of friends, this is the perfect excuse to set up a weekly game night, grab some drinks, pile on the couch, and dive into Sunderfolk.
Alright guys, thanks a ton for watching. If we helped you figure out whether Sunderfolk is perfect for your next game night, it'd mean a ton if you gave the video a like and maybe consider subscribing for more co-op reviews. April's packed with awesome indies, so check out our recent review of Monaco 2 and stay tuned for a preview of Tears of Metal coming soon. If you want to support us, check out our Patreon, tons of benefits, but most importantly, you'll have the satisfaction of knowing you're helping two guys cover co-op games for the entire internet. That's all we got for you today. See ya on the next episode of The Co-op Bros.